Hi, character witnesses. So today you're going to figure out how your character can change the outcome of the trial. So what your role is, what kind of questions maybe you'll be answering, what you're going to be doing during the trial, and how you can either help Jonas's dad either get free of these charges so that he's innocent, or you could be the reason that he ends up going to jail. He's guilty of it. Okay, so you kind of guide the trial with the testimonies that you are going to give. Just a little background about what the trial is going to look like so that you're prepared. On the first day, the prosecution is going to be presenting their claims. So they're going to say all the reasons that they think Jonas's dad is guilty, and there are 3 reasons. So they may say he's guilty because of reason 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you are a witness, the whole point of what you are going to be doing during the trial is supporting those reasons. So if they say Jonas's dad is guilty because he could have applied for appeal, specific reasons have different characters interviewed. So if you're chief elder, you might be interviewed for that. They may say, like, chief elder, tell me about the appeal process. How do people appeal? Is it often that people get to appeal? Why didn't Jonas's dad appeal? That's something that you may be answering, okay? So the prosecution might end up choosing to use you in order to build their argument. Now, the defense counterclaim team, so after you're presenting, after the prosecution asks you, like, what do you believe? What are your thoughts? Tell me about the facts of the story. The defense has the opportunity to say, okay, let's look at this witness. If you're the chief elder, what biases might you have? Why shouldn't we listen to you? Okay? So one team is going to be trying to use you to prove their point. The other team is going to try to use you to disprove the other team's point. So if they're saying, like, hey, I believe that Jonas's dad is guilty, these people are going to try to discredit you and say, listen, you're wrong. He is actually innocent, and I'm going to prove you wrong by getting you to reveal some information that maybe you know and are not sharing, or by getting you to reveal a bias that you might have. So something where you would not be able to have an unbiased opinion. Okay? Second day switches things. So how do you act? The first thing that you're going to do is fill out a steel chart. So you're going to find direct quotes to go into your steel chart. So speech, thoughts, effects on others, actions, and looks. You are going to find a quote for each of them and put them into your chart so you figure out, like, what kind of person am I? How am I supposed to act in this trial? Then you're going to explain, what does this evidence tell you about you as a person? So let's say that Jonas happens to look at the ground a lot. That probably shows that he's shy and he's not very confident. So you have to find a quote of him looking at the floor, and you would say, this evidence proves that Jonas is shy when he's confronted with an idea that he doesn't agree with. Or maybe you might say something about Jonas's father and how he says, like, Lily Billy and things like that. That would tell us that he's a kind and joyful person. Then you're going to tell us, why are these personality traits important to the trial? Are they going to make your character more or less reliable? So if Jonas's dad is saying Lily Billy, he should be in the trial, if you're Jonas's dad, saying things like Lily Billy and cute little phrases. This will make you more reliable because you seem consistent, and it may show the jury, like, hey, Jonas's dad's not a bad person. He acts very kindly even to us in a trial. Jonas's mother might be less reliable because she's married to his father. So if you're Jonas's mother, you might want to figure out, how can I ensure that nobody's going to use that information against me? Once you are done with your steel chart, you are going to have to build an argument. Okay, so arguments are made of claims, evidence, and explanations or reasonings. Okay, so your claim is very simply going to be, does your character, based on all of the knowledge in the book, believe that Jonas's father is innocent or guilty? And you're going to come up with 2 reasons to prove that your character believes this. So maybe you believe that he is innocent because, I don't know, he didn't necessarily know what release is, or you think he's innocent because he, if you are Jonas's mother, you might say he's innocent because he only had 1 transgression, and 3 transgressions means that he should be punished. I don't know. For each of your reasons, you're going to have to find a piece of evidence to prove that reason, so use your steel chart to help you. So you're going to have to find an evidence to support that reason. Then you're going to explain, why does this evidence matter? Is this evidence going to help convince the judge that he's innocent or guilty? Does it reveal a bias? Okay. So again, if you're maybe like the giver, your reason that he might be innocent would be something like, we believe that he is innocent because he doesn't know what release is. So you're going to have to find a piece of evidence to show Jonas's dad did not know what release is and explain why that matters. So if he doesn't have the memory of it, maybe he wouldn't know. You got to use your explanations to kind of build that for me, okay? So for the actual trial, just so that you're also kind of aware, you are not really presenting your evidence as in quotes. You are only going to be answering the questions that people ask of you. So that means that it's the lawyer's jobs to use you to their best of their ability. Now, you have to be prepared, right? You need to be able to answer all their questions. But you are not necessarily presenting anything. If nobody asks you a question about it, don't bring it up, okay? You have to be a reliable witness, and that means you have to know your role. Your role is to answer questions. So the first thing that you can do to become reliable is to know your facts and your character. Don't make things up, okay? Don't say that Jonas's dad went out on a spaceship somewhere. That's just making facts up. If a lawyer asks you a question and you don't know the answer to it, just say, I don't know, okay? It might look like you're unreliable, and it might look like you don't know your character, but that's better than making things up that you don't know, because then that just shows us that you're lying. Not knowing something shows ignorance. Lying shows that you're unreliable and we can't trust you, okay? Make sure that you do know your character's personality, though. If you don't, people are going to doubt that you're telling the truth. So if you're Jonas's dad and you're very monotone and to the point, that's not who his dad is. His dad likes to use pet names. He's very happy all the time. Got to get into character. Make sure that you are answering directly, so only answer the question that is asked. If you answer more than that, then first of all, you might be helping a team that you shouldn't be helping. And second of all, you may look like you are trying to over-explain, okay? So keep your responses short and to the point. If you're over-explaining and going into too much detail, the judge may think that you're trying to convince people that you're right because you're so nervous that you're over-explaining yourself. Avoid powerless language. So don't say things like, maybe, I believe, or kinda, or to be honest. This leads people to doubt you. If you say, to be honest, I'm going to assume that you were lying before. If you say, I believe, or my opinion is that he's guilty, well, we didn't ask your opinion. The lawyers have been told not to ask your opinion. Okay, so if they ask for your opinion, you can answer it, but I'm going to let you know that it's not really reliable because you're not an expert. You weren't there. You don't know if he's guilty or not. You were just answering the questions based on your knowledge in the book. Make sure that you are acting confidently, though, so make eye contact and speak clearly and with loud volume. If you're whispering and saying, like, I believe that Jonas's dad is innocent, then we're not going to believe you. You don't sound confident in yourself. And if you're not confident, then why should I, as the judge, believe you? All right, good luck. Remember, you are technically the evidence of this trial. Nobody's presenting quotes. Nobody gets a chance to sit up there and explain all their thoughts. The lawyers have to ask you the questions. You have to answer them in the way that your character would. You are physical representations of the evidence. Make sure that you only answer the questions that are provided for you. Know your character inside and out so that the judge can find you reliable. Consider talking to the lawyers that you side with. So they can help you determine the reasons and find evidence. They can also prep you for the trial and give you a preview of their questions. So if you believe that he's innocent, then you should be talking to the defense attorneys, and they may help you and give you questions. They may say, like, hey, here's a quote that I noticed from your character that you can use in your chart. Avoid the lawyers on the opposite side of your belief. They may try to interview you, but you don't want to help the people who believe the opposite of you, right? If you think that he's guilty and the defense team is trying to prove he's innocent, don't help them out. They may interview you, but you're trying to prove them wrong, sort of. You're using evidence against them, okay? Look at your language. How does your character talk? If he or she, like Jonas's dad, uses pet names, add them into the trial for more reliability, okay? If Jonas's mom is in the Department of Corrections, she's probably very stiff. So figure out, if she's stiff, how can I use that in the trial? Make sure that you are getting into character. Number one, it makes the trial more fun. And also, I think that it kind of gives you a new level of reliability because people know that you know your facts, okay? So do your best, do the best that you can. Help out the lawyers that you side with. Don't help out the other lawyers, right? You don't want to push the trial in one way or the other. And just have fun with it. Make sure you're prepared so you don't embarrass yourself or embarrass the lawyers, okay? Have fun!